Good day, everyone. Thank you for joining me on another episode of Ned's Healing Sanctuary. I hope this message finds you in the best of health and at peace. I wanted to make you aware that this is my new logo for the Ned's Healing Sanctuary channel and podcast. All right, you can find that on all of these apps down below. Um, you will see the video and in YouTube and Spotify. All right. All the other apps and podcasting sites like Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, Pandora, iHeartRadio, and TuneIn will have the audio podcast only. All right. So feel free to search for Ned's Healing Sanctuary as you see it above in all of those apps and sites. And you should be able to find my podcasts in either video or audio form. All right. I hope you enjoy and you like the newfound flexibility here. Um, all right, so today's topic is going to be tread lightly in life, and how do we do that? All right, so we're going to talk about that in just a moment, but first, I wanted to review what we've discussed so far in our path to enlightenment. So, the gist of everything, the root, the foundation is positivity. Positivity in your thoughts, which will lead to positive actions, which will lead to feeling positive emotions. Okay, and this is all in keeping with our higher self. And so, why do we want to do this? Why is it so important? It's because of the universal law of attraction, which states that whatever we focus on, our thoughts, however we act, and however we feel, are prayers to the universe to reciprocate back to us. So if you are focusing on the negative, um, despair, anger, jealousy, anxiety, fear, then that's what you're praying for the universe to give you more of. And that's why sometimes we get into a vicious cycle. Okay? So it's really important that we stick with positivity, monitor your thoughts specifically because they lead to actions and emotions, and make sure that you're thinking positively. So an example of a negative thought is, there is no way that I'm going to be able to do that. I have no idea why they thought that I could. This is going to be an epic fail. Okay, this is complete negativity. So how else could you think? Well, I've never done this before, but that doesn't mean I can't learn. I'm going to investigate and figure it out. And if I need help, I'll ask for it. See, that's a positive reaction. That's what we want more of, not the former. Another really important tenet that we've learned is that you have to act out of love. This is in tune with your higher self, okay, or God, or your higher power. If you act out of love, you're acting the way God would act. And this is critical, okay, because we are descendants of God. We are children of God. So we must act like our Father, God, okay? If you act out of love in any situation, you're going to be so much better off. I can't even explain to you how much better off you will be. Okay, we're also extremely harsh, too harsh on ourselves. Okay, we have to learn to love and forgive ourselves. This is critical because this is what allows us to love and forgive others. Okay, so please don't be too harsh on yourselves. If you behave in a way that you did not want to behave, fix it. Okay, reach out, apologize, whatever you need to do, and learn from it and know that it will happen again. You're going to get many, many opportunities to prove that you understand a particular lesson. Okay, not just in a lifetime, but in a day, you might get multiple opportunities. All right, so don't be too hard on yourselves. Understand what you did wrong, learn from it, and be prepared to act the way you want the next time. All of this aligns you with God and your higher self. And that means you reduce the guilt and stress that you're going to be incurring on yourself. Okay. And this means that you're going to be living happier and healthier as a result, and your life will be easier. Trust me. If you're able to think in the positive and act from your higher self over time, the long time, like years, then this will allow you to resolve past karma and drastically limit any new karma that you incur. Think of karma, as I said in the last summary, as a jar of stones. This jar goes with you everywhere. Okay, not just in this life, but in other lifetimes, future lifetimes as well. That karma jar, the goal is to empty it. And how do you empty it? Well, if you encounter someone that may have bad intentions towards you, it's likely bad karma you have between them. And you may be up on them in terms of bad karma. Let's say they owe you 3 or 4 or 10 more times. So if they try to collect and they treat you negatively, you have to understand you cannot retaliate. If you retaliate, you're not resolving karma. Okay. But if you stand your ground, listen, okay, empathetically, and take what they're dishing out to you, then you're going to remove karma. You have to put yourself in their place. You have to know there's information you're lacking. You don't know everything. So don't judge. Just don't react. That's the way to remove karma. So if you do that successfully, then you can take a stone out of the jar and throw it outside. Okay? And if you don't do that successfully, then you're still even. They still owe you as many times as they owed you before. And you don't take a stone out of the karma jar. And if you initiate new karma towards someone by acting in a way that's not in tune with your higher self, then you need to pick up a stone from the ground and put it in your karma jar. And that's what we've been doing for all of these millennia, is treading water, not removing stones, or removing 2 stones and adding 3 stones. That's what we've been doing this whole time. So let's get serious about removing our karma and acting the right way, out of love, empathetically. All right? So if you're able to eliminate the stones from your karma jar, then you're going to be at a really high vibrational frequency. That means you are in the positive almost 100% of the time. And what that means is that you're fast approaching what we call enlightenment, or awakening to your true self, who you really are. Okay? You'll understand who you really are, what your true power is. And this will, in turn, bring you new spiritual powers that you didn't have before, you know? And this will allow you to believe in yourself in a way you never did before. And then this will allow you to change the world. It will. All right? That is our path to enlightenment. So now let's talk about the main topic, treading lightly. So what does treading lightly mean? Basically, it means minimizing harm to ourselves, right? Through making sure that you feel and process your emotions the right way, and through showing compassion to ourselves, being kind to ourselves. When we tread, it's a footprint, right? We're walking. So think of treading lightly as maybe walking with socks on, right? And not pounding the floor when you do that. Versus wearing cleats or spiked shoes like you would if you're playing golf or football, soccer. All right, so tread lightly with socks, not with cleats or spiked shoes, on yourself, and then also minimize harm to others through empathy. Put yourself in their place. Understand where they may be coming from. Okay, so you don't react too harshly to whatever's happening. Be socially aware when you're in a group. Okay, don't be a bull in a china shop where you wreak havoc and break everything. Understand that people are sensitive in certain ways, and speak in such a way that you're not going to inflame. Okay, unify. Don't sow discord. And then also minimize harm to Mother Earth. We live on Mother Earth, and so we are all interconnected on Earth. The plants, the animals, the people, and Earth herself. We're all interconnected. So whatever you do affects all of the other interconnected beings. Okay? Even the thoughts. That's right. And to the collective consciousness. So if you understand our inherent unity with Earth, with animals, with plants, and all living things, then you need to minimize harm through not projecting negativity. Project positivity to the collective consciousness. Okay? That's not only helping you, you're helping everyone else by changing how they think and the vibrational frequency of the collective. All right? All right, so that's treading lightly in summary. So now let's dive in deeper to each of these topics. So treading lightly on yourself Just know that we leave an internal footprint on ourselves, like stepping on yourself. So would you rather step on yourself with cleated or spiked shoes? Or would you rather step on yourself with cushioned socks? Right? I would choose the latter, the socks. So be mindful of the emotional footprint that you leave on yourself. Okay? Don't be so caustic and harsh in the way that you think of yourself or the way that you're critical. Don't be overly self critical. Don't hold on to grudges for more than like minutes. Seriously, minutes, not days, weeks, months, or years. That is not helping anyone. Okay? If you truly have an aim to live an easier, healthier, and happier life, then you must understand that you cannot hold negativity in your heart. That is the key reason why we go in these vicious cycles. So let it go. Okay? Let it go. Don't hold it in your heart. Forgive yourself. Okay? And don't talk negatively to yourself. That's this guy, the ego, the devil on your left shoulder, speaking to you in negative terms. There is no way I can do that. This is going to be an epic fail. That's not a way to talk to yourself. You need to pump yourself up, not drag yourself down. Okay? You could say, well, I've never done it before, but I'm pretty smart. I can figure it out. That's what you need to be saying. Okay? The negativity creates a heavy and draining internal environment. And that could spiral out of control very quickly into a long-term issue like anxiety or depression. These are real. They're real. People can't solve them on their own. They need help. So if you feel this has been going on a while, seek help, which we'll talk about here, using emotional intelligence as a tool to tread lightly on yourself. Okay? Recognize the detrimental internal patterns, the negativity. If it's constant and never ending, seek help. Okay? You shouldn't be feeling that way about yourself. Practice self-compassion. Practice forgiveness. Be mindful of processing and releasing difficult emotions. Don't hold them. Let the energy flow through you and around you. Don't let them fester in you. Okay? If you have a negative thought of anger or jealousy or resentment, and you just keep chewing on it and chomping on it and chewing on it, that's just going to weigh you down and drag you farther down than you ever thought you could. It's going to hold you back so long in your journey. Okay? You need to understand how to release these emotions. And don't be overly harsh on your own emotional landscape. All right? So be kind to yourself. And then energy management. Manage your own energetic state. Avoid energy drains like excessive worry and anger. Catch the thoughts, catch the feelings, process them, change them. Okay? And consciously cultivate positive emotions that uplift rather than deplete. All right? Like I said in my earlier video on releasing emotional blockages and make sure that you're not harboring it. Practice letting it go. Make the time you hold it shorter and shorter and shorter and shorter and shorter so it's down to seconds. That's what we want for thoughts and for emotions, both. Okay? Practice. Okay, treading lightly on others. So just as there is an internal footprint that we leave on ourselves, there's an interpersonal footprint that we leave on others as well. Again, make sure you're wearing the padded socks and not the cleats or the spiked shoes, all right, when we walk on others. So be aware of the emotional and energetic impact that we have on the people around us, okay? Make sure that you use words and you act in a way that doesn't create additional tension or discomfort or harm for others, okay? Just be mindful of that. Okay, use soothing words and healing words and unifying words and actions. Come from a place of love, always. This is a way. And then use emotional intelligence in a group setting as well. Empathize. That's the key. Understand and feel what others might be experiencing. If they just came back from a difficult experience, an illness, or someone passed away, Be empathetic. Understand what it feels like. Tread more lightly. Comfort them. Okay? Be socially aware. Read the room when you walk into a room. Understand who's there, what may be going on in their lives, how they may be feeling, and support them if they need support in a given area. Okay? Be considerate of others. Respectful communication with others. Choose your words carefully. Actively listen, like really listen. And if you need to clarify what they said, ask a clarifying question so you understand fully. Okay? Avoid judgment and aggressive language. Okay? Um, so rather than sowing conflict and discord, division, try to foster understanding and connection with others. And as we said in the last episode, don't be attached to outcomes. Okay? Allow others to travel their own journey. Everybody's on a different path. Support others without imposing your will or expecting specific outcomes. Respect their autonomy and growth process. Let them travel their own path. And also tread lightly on Mother Earth. Okay? Minimize your physical impact on the planet. Know that all life, the earth, plants, animals, and people, have a ripple effect on the entire ecosystem. Okay? We're all interconnected and we're all sacred. So our consumption habits and waste affect everybody and everything. And then be spiritually intelligent. Focus on the meaning and purpose of interconnectedness. Okay? This will lead you to a sense of responsibility for the earth. And when you feel deeply connected to nature, then you're going to be more inclined to protect it and not do harmful behaviors. Also, be aware of the consumption consciousness and lifestyle. Okay? Reduce waste, conserve your resources, support ethical businesses, and live in a way that respects the planet. Don't invest in products or businesses that overly use plastic or polystyrene, also called styrofoam. These don't break down and they really hurt us physically as well as the environment. So don't buy plastic toys. Buy steel or wood toys. Okay? At home, use food containers that are not plastic, like glass. Okay? Don't use single-use plastic bags or food containers when you eat out, fast food. Just be aware that most plastic and hot liquids or hot foods don't mix. They dissolve, and you're going to end up eating microplastics with your food. This is extremely unhealthy for you and for the world. So be aware of that. If a place doesn't, support like cardboard, paper boxes, or other containers that are not so harmful to the environment or to you, then don't patronize them. Don't go to them. Make them learn that they need to be supportive of you, your health, and the environment. And then take plastic bags that you shop with from your that are not plastic, reusable. Okay, use reusable shopping bags. Don't make the store give you plastic bags. Plastic cutlery, single use. Okay, straws and stirrers. These are all very bad. And coffee places always use those cups you think are cardboard, but they're actually plastic lined inside and they cannot be recycled. So be conscious if you're consuming a lot. Change your habits, okay? Try to use a steel or a ceramic compost bin in your kitchen. This is for food waste. So if you're chopping onions or carrots or whatever it is, you can put your food waste in the compost bin, and you can use a biodegradable bag or liner in it. And then when it's full, you take it out to your green compost bin and throw it away. This way, you don't have biodegradable material in your trash. So your trash will last 2 weeks or more without smelling. because there's nothing breaking down. It just contains paper and unrecyclable plastic. Everything else, bottles, plastic containers that are recyclable, paper containers, all of that should go in the recycling bin, not in your trash. All right. So your trash should be very small, just various paper products and unrecyclable plastic covers. That's it. Everything else should go either in the recyclable container or in your compost bin. And then tread lightly on the collective consciousness. Our individual thoughts and emotions contribute to the collective consciousness. Just be aware of what you're putting out there. All right? Choose to contribute positive, uplifting energy to the collective rather than fear and anger and despair. This not only helps you, but it helps the whole universe. We're all one, after all, brother and sister, to the planet, to the animals, to the plants. So, treading lightly means living with a heightened sense of awareness and responsibility for our impact on ourselves, on others, and the world around us. It's an active, conscious choice to minimize harm and maximize positive contribution, guided by empathy, self awareness, and a profound sense of interconnectedness with everything in the universe. It's about moving through life with grace, respect, and a deep understanding of the subtle yet powerful ripple effects of our every thought, word, and action. So I hope you've enjoyed this topic. If you thought that it was helpful, give me a thumbs up and let me know. I'd be, this will help me know what kind of material and content to create. If you think others should know about this topic, feel free to share it with them. And you know that it's available on all the other sites and apps that I mentioned earlier. And I appreciate you spending some time with me today. I wish you peace until the next time we meet. Take care.